Hi, welcome back to Maths Learning Groups. Today we are going to look at Essay 1 Nanhua paper 2019, and so we're going to continue to look at hard questions in the paper 2. Alright, today you can see that I'm wearing a headset because the voice is better, right? When I'm using the wireless microphone, so the voice that's being captured is more clear, and there won't be any buzzing sound. But however, it looks a bit unsightly because the wire is dangling out. Okay, but anyway, more importantly, it's not just the appearance, but it's to understand the lesson. So hopefully with the voice, alright, with the microphone, with the wired microphone, you will be able to hear the voice better and understand the lesson easier. Okay, so let's look at the example, the question that I took out from Nanhua paper, which is your Essay 1, Nanhua paper 2, 2019. So it is an average problem. So it's a paper 2 problem, and there are a few ways of solving. A few ways you can use, you can think of to solve this problem. So one of the ways that we can do is listing. We can do listing because average problem is what? You can list out how many people. Like for example, there are some children, right? So we don't know how many children. So what you can do is you can do listing. One child, two children, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the disadvantage is we don't know how many children. So you may have to jump. You may have to do some try and error. Alright, and by the time you get your answer, I think a lot of time is taken. So listing is not really quite a good method over here, but nevertheless it is still a method that you can use to solve. So we are going to do listing for this problem, alright, and then later on I'll show you a better way. So some children took a maths test. Their average score was 78.1 marks. One of the children's score was wrongly recorded as 79 marks instead of 97 marks. So the correct score is supposed to be 97, but because of the wrong score, what happened to the total marks? The total marks will become lesser, right? And as a result, the average score was calculated as 76.3 marks. So from a higher score to become a lower score, what happened to the average as well? The average has also become lesser. So how many children sat for the test? Okay, so we are going to do listing, and so we have a table, a table to show our number of children. So I have the first child, and average score was 78.1. Okay, so everybody gets the same. So the second child 78.1, and the third, fourth, and so on. Okay, so you have not 78.1. Okay, so what is the total score when there are two children? You take 78.1 times 2, and you will get 156.2, because when you have average, you can find the total. So if there are two children, then their total score will be 156.2, and if there are three children, then you continue, right? 78.1, which is the average, and you times 3, and you get 234.3, and then so on and so on. So this is not a very good method, because you can see that you have to write a lot of numbers. So 78.1, and then you times 4, and you get 312.4. So let's put down, and then if there are 5 children, 78.1 times 5, and you will get 390.5. Okay, so this is the correct total score. And what is the wrong total score? Now, one of the children's score was recorded as 79 instead of 97 marks, so which means that the average score has also become lesser because of the wrong score that was being recorded. So now everybody has 46.3 marks already. Alright, okay, let me just switch back. Okay, so everybody now has 76.3 marks, and then what happens? Then you have the two children, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so what's the total score of these two children? So you take the average and you times 2, you will get the wrong total score, which is 152.6. And if there are 3 children, 76.3 times 3, and you will get 228.9. And if there are 4 children, so 76.3 times 4, you will get 305.2. And then keep doing 76.3 and then times 5, you get 381.5. Okay, so what else do we see? Now, what is the difference when the wrong score was being recorded? What's the difference? Now, the wrong score is 79 instead of 97. So there's a difference of how many marks? So 97, you minus 97 minus 79, you will get a difference of 18 marks. Okay, so there's a difference of 18 marks. So what do? Now, you're going to so the total score will become 80 mark lesser. Alright, so what will happen to the total score? It will become 80 mark lesser. And you look at every one of these total, right? Look at this correct total and you minus this wrong total. Do you get a difference of 18 marks? No, you didn't, right? So you keep going, right? You take the correct total minus the wrong total and keep going, and you find that you don't get the difference of 18. Like, how about this one? 390.5 and you minus 381.5, you get a difference of 9. So which means that you haven't got the answer yet. So you have to keep doing, keep listing, right? Keep listing 6, right? 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. Alright, so this is the disadvantage. Okay, the disadvantage of doing listing. Okay, 7, 8, and so on. Okay, now, alright, so you keep going, and that's why the method here is not very good. Okay, not very good. But however, there's actually a shortcut over here that you can jump. You can jump the numbers to get the correct difference. So how do you jump the number to get the correct difference? You just look at the difference between 390.5 and 381.5. There is a difference of 9. Okay, difference of 9. So what you have to do is you just take 18 and then you divide by 9, you get 2 times, right? 2 times. So if 5 children, right, there is a difference of 9, right? 5 children, there's a difference of 9, and you take 18 divided by 9, then there must be twice as many children, right? There must be twice as many children, and then what will happen to the difference? The difference will be 18, right? There will be a difference of 18 marks. So how do you know? How do you check whether it's correct? Well, you can actually check by finding the total. You take 78.1 times 10, which is the average, and you times 10 to get the correct total. And then you take 76.3 times 10, which is the wrong total. And then you take 781 minus 763, and you get a difference of 18 marks. So, which means that how many children sat for the test? So there are 10 children who sat for the test. Okay, but you can see that the method here is not very good, because why? There is a lot of listing, a lot of numbers to write down, especially if you can't use the shortcut, right? The shortcut where I just show you how to use the shortcut. So even for listing method, there is a shortcut, but not many students know how to use a shortcut. What they will do is they will keep listing out the numbers, all right? And by the time you get your answer, I think that will be quite a lot of time taken already. All right. What I would advise is, if you want to do listing, then you should not stick to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You should jump the numbers. Like for example, if you know that the difference is 9, right, and there is still far away from the correct difference, what do? You jump. Just jump to 8. So you don't have to write 6 or 7 children. So you just jump so that you can cut the steps. Jump to 8. And if it's still far away from the correct difference, then you jump some more, right? So you don't have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because it's a lot of work, hard work, and there's a lot of time taken. All right, so you can think smart. You can think smart by jumping the number of children. All right, but however, if you know the shortcut, which I show you, then that'll be even faster. But is there a better way to do this question? Yeah, there's a better way, much faster. And the better way is model drawing. So first of all, what's the answer for this question? So how many children sat for the test? So how many children sat for the test? We haven't got the answer yet, right? So I haven't shown you what's the answer. So you look at the table. So there are 10 children who have sat for the test, right? And that's how you get your answer for this question. Okay, now the better way or the faster way that I want to show you, and you should try to learn this method, model drawing. So we are back to model drawing again. So model drawing is a very common method that can actually be used to solve many kinds of problems. All right, and some of you tell me that, oh, can I use guess and check? You can't do guess and check because why? Because you don't have a total number. There's no number of children there. There's no total number. So it's very hard to guess when you don't know how many children, or you don't know what is a total, because otherwise you will just give a random number, which is not very good, because if you just give anyhow number, then you find that you are hitting aimlessly. All right, you are not going anywhere with your guess and check. So to do guess and check, there is always a number that we can use to start guessing. Okay, so in this problem, we don't do guess and check, but the method that we can do is listing. Right, you start with 1, 2, 3, and then after that you can do a little bit of guessing. You jump the numbers and do some guessing and to arrive at the correct number of children. Okay, so let's look at method number 2. All right, the model method. So the model method is actually very easy. All right, because once you catch it, you can see that it's not hard to draw the model, and the steps are very few, not a lot of steps. So I draw a rectangle, which is the total number of marks. All right, the correct total marks. And I do not know how many children are there, so I cut the first child and the last box, which is the last child. So average score means everybody gets the same. Okay, everybody gets the same number of marks. So 78.1, and the last person is also 78.1, and I don't know how many boxes to cut because I don't know how many children. And because one of the children's score was wrongly recorded as 79 instead of 97, so what will happen to the total marks? Their total marks will become lesser already, which is a wrong total. And how many marks lesser because of the wrong score? So you take 97 minus 79, that is there's a difference of 18 marks, which means that the total score has become lesser by 18, which is a wrong total. And because of this wrong total score, everybody gets the wrong average. And the wrong average is 76.3, and the last person is also 76.3. So how many children sat for the test, which is the question mark. So your model is done. Okay, and what model do I call this? I call this a division model, which is what you have learned in primary 3. What is a division model? When you don't know how many boxes to cut, you have dotted lines to represent the number of boxes that you don't know how many to cut. Okay, now, so what do we do next? The model is done. So you find the difference between the average. Like the wrong average is 76.3. Everybody gets the wrong average. And to get the right average, it means that everybody must get how many more? Every child must get how many more marks? You take 78.1 minus 76.3, and you will get 1.8 more. So each person must get 1.8 more marks in order to get the correct average, right? Okay, then where are you going to take the 1.8 more marks from? Which part of the model are you going to take from? Alright, that's when you need to understand a very important lesson. This is the first student, this is the same student, right? Same person. This is the last student, and this is the last student. Same last student, same person. So the first person on top and the first person below, they are the same. And the last person at the end of the rectangle is the same as the last person at the end of the other rectangle. Alright, so we are talking about the same person here. Okay, now, of course, the first and the last person, they are different person. Okay, they are different person. But what I mean is the person here and the person here, same. The person here and the person here, they are same. But the first and the last person, they are not the same. They are different. Just in case you get confused. Okay, alright. So once you understand that, then the rest are simple. So all you have to do, all you have to do is what? You just have to take your pencil, draw a dotted line to show where is the last person. Okay, somewhere over here. Alright, over here, that is where the last person is. And then use your dotted line again to show where is the same person. Alright, so the same person is at the end of the box. Okay, the box. That's where the same person is. And in between, right, in between the dotted line, what do you see? You see the difference of 18. Right, there's 18 marks right between the dotted lines. So you are going to take the 18 marks and give to everybody 1.8 more. Right, so how many person get 1.8 more marks? So you divide, and you must have given to 10 children. So which means that how many children sat for the test? Your answer will be 10 children. And over here also will be the same, 10 children. Okay, now this model is very important or very useful because there are some problems that are harder than this. Average problem, they are harder than this. But the model can still be used to solve those harder problems. So I call this the average model. Alright, or I mean it's something like division model, but I call it the average model, and I use this model when there is an average problem. Alright, so how many children sat for the test? There are 10 children who sat for the test. So what is the lesson for today? Now, you can see that there are two methods I can use. Listing, we call it systematic listing, or model method. Now for systematic listing, it takes a lot of time because you have to list out a lot of numbers,
And of course, you can work smart by jumping the numbers, right? If you can jump the numbers, you cut down your steps. And if you are able, if you know the shortcut which I showed you earlier on, all right, there's actually a shortcut that you can use for listing, but we don't want to go there because the lesson here is on what kind of methods you can use to solve this problem. But there's a shortcut when you do listing. There is actually a shortcut to do faster, right? But if you don't know the shortcut, then you will find that the method will give you more time. All right, you need more time to get the answer. So what is a better alternative? The better alternative is to have a model, right? And then you can see that how many steps do I have in my working. I have only 2 steps only. So there are only 2 steps in my model method. So which means that you should try to understand how to draw this model, and then use the model to work out your answer. So what is the better method here, which is model drawing. And you can see that model drawing is very common, can be used to solve many kinds of problem. Alright, so we come to the end of this lesson. Stay tuned for the next up and coming lessons. We'll be looking at different exam questions, and we'll be looking at what kind of methods that we can use to solve the different questions. So there's no one fixed way to solve a problem. If you find that you don't know how to use a method, there's always something else you can think about. Alright, okay, so I will see you in the next lesson. So hope you enjoyed the lesson and you benefited from the lesson. So stay tuned to the next lesson, and I will see you the next round. Alright, goodbye.